What up, y'all? Welcome to the Gunslinger Gaming Frosty Pints podcast. I'm Gobi. With me tonight is Leadness, DrNiggle, OmegaConstruct, and Zero Burn 75. How y'all doing tonight? And welcome back, Leadness.
Yeah, I'm just amazed that Venus isn't dead.
Able to prove that he does still exist.
If I did not die, maybe. Unless they just replace me with someone that sounds similar.
Could be. All you South Africans sound the same.
Is that racist? Because he's African American. It's white. It's racist.
Yeah.
There's been an error joining a session. Guys, good news. GTA is as stable as ever.
Huzzah!
Yeah,
Still takes forever and a day to load into.
That's our news for the week. GTA is still a broke-ass game.
Yeah.
It's the original game to bitch about loading screens that never got complained about.
I'm pretty sure by the end of the podcast we'll all get to convene in the right place.
Yeah, by the time we wrap it up, maybe when we get to the roundtable discussion.
Yeah.
Wait. Do we have any time constraints tonight that we can completely shatter?
I have some time constraints.
We'll go with 15 minutes so you guys can blow it out of the water and feel good about yourself.
Nice.
Yes.
Doc?
What? Don't drag me into this.
You're up.
Oh. I don't have the time. No, that was a bit. God damn it. I'm not your fucking dancing seal. I don't exist to impress you, Zero.
Are you sure?
No.
At the start. What?
Seriously,
Admitting it is half the battle.
I don't have the topic list brought up in front of me, so I'm just gonna beat up this valet and pretend like I'm, pretend like I'm, doing my job here.
Sony postpones their bullshit, and Madden 21 event is also delayed, and apparently the page is not found on Twitter.
What did Sony
In other things that people don't care about?
Yeah, seriously. What did Sony postpone, and why is that funny to me?
Sony postponed
PS5
the launch announcement of PlayStation 5, and they said that something along the lines of now is the time for more important voices to be heard. And then that was this morning around 10 a.m. And then earlier this afternoon, they released a series of statements on Twitter that were basically like, in solidarity with the Black community and, reaffirming their support for equality and whatnot. So they've canceled that event. And then Madden, EA has done the same thing with Madden, announcing that they're postponing their big Madden 21 event.
Yeah, I actually got a notification from Microsoft about an event that I was supposed to be joining tomorrow that's been postponed until the 23rd with the same reasoning.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, that's my turn for the wheel.
Unofficial Mario 64 PC port now has mods, and Nintendo is sending out cease and desist. Gee, go figure.
Honestly, I know. Before we move on, it's kind of difficult for me to pay attention to gaming news right now because there's a lot of serious real world shit happening at the moment. It's a little difficult to retreat into escapism these days. So I'll that's the most serious that I'll be in this entire podcast, and now we can go back to talking about Linus's thighs.
Or Mario.
It's the same thing. It's all the same thing.
What we were doing? Okay.
So, never mind. I don't even want to know what Princess Peach is then.
But yeah, so there's a PC port of
Are we
Mario.
talking about my thoughts again?
Didn't you mean who is in Princess Peach, not what Princess Peach is in?
Well, if Mario is his thighs and Mario's always going after Princess Peach.
Mario's always going after Princess Peach in the same way that the guy at the bar is always going after the hot chick. You know that she's leaving with the bouncer, though, which in this case is Bowser. Princess Peach gets slammed by Bowser. That's where I was going with that.
I thought Peach was a thing for bum, and that connects it to my thighs. That's,
Which is fine, too.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Omega,
I think-
get in the car.
So yeah,
Anyway.
what else is on that list?
I don't know. Nintendo just hates everything, no offense, but I kind of saw that one coming from a mile away. Satisfactory is finally
I don't know,
coming
I
to
just find
Steam
it kind of
early access.
surprising.
Oh.
No, we
Go
can move on. No, go ahead.
Satisfactory is coming to Steam early access on June 8th. This was, I believe, an Epic exclusive, or was it a whole year?
It's a pretty interesting looking game, that actually. I wasn't expecting it to be on the topic list, but yeah, I've watched a few videos of it. It looks pretty cool.
I mean, it got an amazing amount of buzz, supremely popular, and it is it got really big on Twitch, and a lot of streamers were playing it.
Yeah,
And,
looks quite fun.
it's could be getting pretty big, coming to a new audience.
Who doesn't want to build factories? Well, actually,
Mario.
let's invert
Mario
that and say,
doesn't.
who wants to build factories?
Honestly, I see a lot of in that game of what Doc and I ended up putting thousands of hours into Space Engineers.
I was going to say the same thing. It reminds me a lot of Space Engineers for factories.
Pretty much. Which is funny because that was sort of my favorite part of the played Space Engineers. Doc was really excellent at the aesthetic work and just making amazing, huge, beautiful ships. I put most of my work into making like factories and refinery setups and complicated logic setups like that. And it seems like this game is given more of both.
It's just gonna say that's how we ended up with giant spaceships that looked good and had amazing engines.
Well, there was the time we also made a Borg cube.
We also made a Borg cube because we got tired of the game's bullshit, so we made a giant cube.
That's so funny.
That cube wrecked everything, by the way. It was easily the strongest and most durable attack ship that we've ever made.
That's true. Yes, it did.
Did you just DC?
Yeah, Doc,
Yep.
you just left.
By the way, you guys have fun because Grand Theft Auto 5 exited unexpectedly. Please click retry below to enter the game again, or click save mode to launch the game with reduced graphics settings. If you continue to have problems playing the game, please contact Rockstar Games customer service at https://support.rockstargames.com, which I think I'll go ahead and do.
And, oh my god, this guy just threw me out of his fucking car that I just stole from him. What the hell, dude? And you
Someone
ran
didn't
me
like being
over.
stolen from? The nerve!
Sorry.
It's okay, I'm with the car behind you.
Oh, you're taking a different car? Alright.
There's too many cops.
So, I guess we could stay on that whole Epic Games thing. This whole free games end up selling better after the giveaways, says Tim Sweeney. This is a GameSpot article. It's interesting if that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, he goes on to even say that, giving away a free game makes increases sales for other games in that genre, even.
I mean, I can see why. If you get a free game, something as good a caliber as what they're giving away, that could definitely lead you on to buy the DLC. I mean, especially for Civ 6.
Oh my
If
god!
they're
Yeah,
using-
I'm. Once I
If
get
they're
paid-
using that as a basis of their article, then I can totally see that people that got it for free would buy some of the DLC. because it was on sale and it's a fucking good game.
Have you lost the cops yet, Lee?
No.
I just
But,
lost them.
He never loses them because he keeps on shooting people as he drives.
This is true.
Actually, who is... Omega, who's the guy? There's a YouTube channel that you turned me on to a while ago. It's a guy who breaks games for fun. Grind that game. No, it's not Grind that game.
Oh,
Spiffing Brit?
No, it was... I'll look it up for you. But yeah, his whole channel is him just abusing mechanics in video games in the most absurd ways possible. He takes any game and just figures out how to do the most absurd things with it. And
the channel is called Let's Game It Out.
That's it. Yep, Let's Game It Out. And
Let's Game It Out did a whole series of videos on Satisfactory. So if you're looking at this game, or if you like factory building games or shit like that, take a look at Satisfactory and then go check out Let's Game It Out on YouTube, because he built some absolutely amazing shit, game-breaking shit in this, and it's hilarious what he managed to do.
yeah.
Especially
he also built some
he experiments with the train, and he tries to get the train to go as far beneath the map as humanly possible, and he actually figures out that at a certain point you start despawning and the game just kills you because you're so far underground. You're not
he
supposed
figured
to
out
be
how
able to
to
go
make the
underground in the
train
first place.
travel through that area.
But you can still make the train travel through that area, that's correct.
Like, it was an absurd series that he did. I think, because we were talking about Civ, I think he also did some videos on Civ, because that's another game that is imminently rife for breaking wide open with some of the mechanics in there.
I don't think... Leetness brought up Spiffy Brit. I don't think that it was Spiffy Brit. It may have actually been him that did this, but yeah, there are some Civ 6 exploits that have been in the game since launch. They have not been fixed to this day.
Yeah.
So if you know what some of them are, and you go into a multiplayer session and you're playing as, for example, Russia, you can completely bend the game over and have your way with it.
I know Russia's one of the... Yeah, Russia's one of the biggest abusers.
Yeah, Spiffing Brit does a ton of Civ 6 like live broken exploits in the game that are basically just like completely game breaking, that make you significantly more powerful than anybody else. And it's completely like legal. You can do it in an online game, and it wouldn't be considered, cheating.
And so here's the thing: in accordance with GSTOS, we're not talking about cheats here. We're calling them exploits, but what they really are game mechanics that are really extremely poorly thought out.
Yeah, these are just broken games. Like, both Spiffy Brit and this other channel, Let's Game It Out, they're pretty much devoted to this asshole.
They're related to this asshole?
They're both devoted to finding these sort of broken mechanics in games and just abusing the hell out of them. And it is so much fun to see them do it.
I'm amazed more of it hasn't been patched.
I know, that's the thing. It's like some of them are such terrible mechanics that you can just like double stack resources or science and eventually have such a crazy amount of science or faith that you can just buy your way to victory.
Yeah, I started a new civilization at 8 o'clock this morning, played for an hour and a half before I had to be into work. Had over 10K in faith in an hour and a half.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, you start to realize it's broken when you're getting 10K faith a turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when you start to realize the game is broken.
Anyway, so Satisfactory.
Yeah, if you're into like those sort of
Apparently
construction builder games, check it out. It'll be on Steam in June. Sometime in June.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's still on Epic. new Raspberry Pi 4 with 8 gigs of RAM and a 64-bit OS.
I wish that people could actually see this on the podcast. Oh wait, they totally can.
What's that?
Just give me a second here. It's the new Raspberry Pi, but it's naked without a shell. So, naked Raspberry Pi.
Yummy. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. And, it looks like it's a pretty huge step from its predecessor.
Yeah, this
The
isn't
key
super
highlights.
super right there on gaming, but it's kind of cool to see it. I mean, it's the first time they've had 8 gigs of RAM built into it, and because of that, they've now upgraded the OS to be a 64-bit OS. So it's just, I don't know, it's just another cool example of the development of computer technology over time.
There's also more Vulkan news coming real soon, according to yeah, which is interesting because that's always good to see more things taking advantage of Vulkan.
Basically, this thing is
Yeah.
the size of a credit card.
Yeah, right. It's fucking tiny. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is tiny. And the thing that is really cool about it, at least for me, I can read off some of the specs here. It's the size of a credit card. It's got a quad-core Cortex ARM V8 processor at 1.5 gigahertz. It's got 8 gigs of SD RAM. It's got built-in AC, wireless, and Bluetooth, gigabyte internet. It's got 2 USB 3.0 ports and 2 USB 2.0 ports. It's got the standard GPIO header, which apparently is fully backwards compatible with previous ports. It's got 2 micro HDMI ports, 2-lane MIPI DSI ports, and a MIPI CSI camera port. 4-pole stereo audio, yeah, blah blah, that's fine, all that's good. Yeah, I mean, just the processor, the RAM, the gig, the USB ports, the micro HDMI ports, and the MIPI ports are this thing's like hot shit.
Sounds pretty cool.
It's fucking tiny, and it's a good computer. It's not gonna run GTA 5, but it's still pretty fucking good.
Yeah, right. All the fun stuff we could do with that we're not allowed to talk about on this podcast.
All the porn that could be downloaded using this.
Yes.
Does not have a built-in SSD. That's the only disappointment, but the SSD is actually probably larger. Your standard Samsung SSD is going to be larger than this board.
It did have 2 USB 3.0 ports, so you could technically hook up an SSD through that, and yeah, I mean,
Oh yeah,
it would be
absolutely.
double the size.
Yeah.
But I mean, I did. I know a while back, Baby Boy was got a gaming laptop, and he got Xbox Game Pass, and he didn't know if you could download Windows 10 store games onto a SSD and run them offline. I have since tested this theory, and you can in fact install Windows 10 store games onto an external SSD drive and play them offline.
But I'm sure that will require sign-in after a certain amount of time. It's probably tokenized.
Well, you have to sign into the game while you're online, and you have to make sure your PC is set to be your one offline PC for Windows 10. And that's the only way you can actually play the games offline. But yeah, you have to basically touch base every once in a while with internet to keep playing offline.
Yeah, I would assume it's got some sort of token thing for you to be able to check in at least once a week or something.
Yeah, I mean, I own the games that I've installed. I should mention I do not have the Xbox Game Pass, so this totally I guess, kind of different. I own the games, so I'm just installing games that I already own, not that I'm renting through a Game Pass.
Yeah, I've got
So it
the
might be
game.
different.
I've been playing a ton off the Game Pass. Well, yeah, tried out several games on the Game Pass. It's cool. I like it.
What games have you been checking out?
Outer Worlds, Gears Tactics, Minecraft Dungeons.
How is the one Gears game that I won't own?
Gears Tactics. Yeah, how is it?
It's like a mixture between Gears and XCOM.
I was going to ask, how is it in comparison to XCOM?
I'd say XCOM story for me is more interesting. The gameplay on Gears Tactics is way cool. I like that. I mean, it's very Gears, but I don't like the Gears story so much. For me, it's just not my kind of story. It's very hoorah, get fucking wrecked, sort of.
In
I don't know.
PS5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not my jam really. But the XCOM is more my jam because of the aliens and shit like that. But
Did you check
but
out Sea of Thieves?
the gameplay is really nice on Gears Tactics. I'm not gonna lie, I think it's actually better than XCOM. I like the way that they've done it a little bit better. You know, you feel like more of a badass in that, I think. I suppose you're supposed to be a badass as a Gears guy.
That kind of makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
the whole idea behind XCOM is that you're not that. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
You
you
are-
play
a human facing this like alien,
Force. Yeah,
evil alien force coming in, so you're supposed to be weak and whatnot. So that kind of makes sense.
yeah. So that's kind of the difference, I guess. I like the feeling of mowing down tons of aliens and shit. It's pretty good, and overall the strategy is quite nice. I liked it. But yeah, the story for me, XCOM's better story wise. I just didn't really get engaged in the Gears Tactics storyline. But I played a good bit of it before I decided that it's not for me. The storyline got
The thing-
repetitive in that sense.
Thing I always found hilarious about Gears, just generally throughout all the entire games, it's not physically possible for the protagonist to do the thing where he reaches behind his head with one arm and then reaches up behind his back with the other arm and grabs the two hands. He can't fucking do that because his muscles are so enormous and his shoulders are so broad.
Yep.
You're not getting back in the game.
Not when they like slam
No.
into the wall, it moves the whole wall like they're a fucking freight train.
Yeah, that too.
Or the fact that their boots probably weigh like 250 pounds apiece, and all the gear weighs like.
Yeah, the main dude there, whose name I can't remember right now for the life of me.
Marcus
Please.
Phoenix.
Marcus. Marcus
Phoenix.
probably weighs about as much as what kind of car? Probably a PT Cruiser. He probably weighs about as much as a PT Cruiser.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that would make them shake walls when they run into them. I mean,
Oh yeah. I believe PT Cruisers are notorious for running head on into walls, and those walls do shake.
yep. And then the PT Cruiser is hauled off on a bed.
Yep.
Chrysler ingenuity.
Exactly. Yeah. Lifespan for one of those cars is about 6 months.
Hey, I mean, you can't blame it all on Chrysler here. I mean, some of it was idiots behind the wheel.
Really? No,
I mean,
can't
most of it was Chrysler.
No.
But
What I blame on Chrysler is that they started off trying to make a car, and then they did an emissions test and were like, "Fuck, this is not a car. We have to sell it as a light truck."
it's a minivan. It's
I mean,
went from a car to a minivan.
It's not. Oh my god! It's not a fucking minivan.
Oh my god! It's sarcasm, man.
Minivans have more dignity.
I mean,
Dude,
factional state or soccer moms wouldn't drive.
This is true.
I mean, hell, the Pacifica is technically a minivan, and I don't think I would consider that a minivan either.
Probably
I mean,
not.
to me, a minivan has to have sliding doors.
Yeah, right? It has to have the one sliding door part. Anyway,
At
sorry.
least one. I mean, nowadays it's more, but I mean, at least one sliding door. It has to have that. Otherwise, it is not a minivan. Doesn't qualify. It doesn't have the creepy factor.
You need to be able to black out the windows and write free candy on the side of it, and if it looks like a legitimate creepy car, then it's a minivan. But, sorry, we got off onto a tangent, back to the Raspberry Pi, close this off. The reason that this one is such a big deal is because it has a 64-bit operating system, which you might have guessed when I said 8 gigs of RAM. The 32-bit systems can't utilize 8 gigs of RAM in applications, so it's a 64-gigabyte operating system Raspberry Pi coming to a store near you.
It actually sounds cool if I could figure out a use for one.
Yeah. I feel like this is something that I would get for Christmas or a birthday, and I'd just be like, oh, this is so fucking cool. What the hell do I do with it?
One common use, people use it as like a either use it for setting up a network, like a home network, or you could use them as a media center as well.
You could rig up a coffee making sex toy that basically, once you're done, it makes you some coffee.
Oh, son of a bitch. Okay, so the new Raspberry Pi here will come with H.265 4K with 60 frames per second decode capability.
And it
So,
can
yeah, you
record
could-
direction.
You could definitely use this as a pretty high-end media center.
Yeah, there are plenty of resources online where, communities online where people teach you all about how to set all that up. And, you
I know
can
exactly
add
what
an
I would
external
use it
hard
for.
drive to it, and then you can put whatever you want on it.
Well,
Yeah, that's
anyway,
if you have TVs and shit, and you aren't just watching everything on your computer.
that is the Raspberry Pi. So what's next here?
Yeah.
Paradox Games opening a new grand strategy studio.
Yeah, not really sure what that's about. Grand
This is
strategy.
Probably something that I would be more interested in.
Yeah, grand strategy games. I'm guessing that's something kind of like RTS games. Mentions
Pretty close.
Europa.
Yeah, it would be if anyone's ever played Europa, or we're talking on the same scale as Civ 6 basically, or Civ 5. Extremely large open map. Grand strategy means that you're in charge of nations instead of individuals, and you have a world to dominate. So yeah, that's interesting. The one thing that I will say about Paradox, I like City Skylines. I like it as a game. I like it as a city builder. I like that it has completely bonkers mod support. I thought that RimWorld was going to be the game that I put the most mods onto. No, not even close. City Skylines, over 1,000 mods easily. And assets. So, yeah, Paradox definitely has that going for them, but Paradox is fucking DLC happy out the ass. And their DLC is not like $4.99 here or $1.99 there. It's $15, $20, $30.
Nice.
And that's not to say all their DLC is like that. They do have cheaper DLC. They've been releasing cheaper DLC for Prison Architect because they took over the Prison Architect game, if anybody played that back in the day. And they're releasing DLC for it now, and it's, $2, $3, $4, $5, $7.
Damn, I didn't know they were making new content for that.
They are. Yeah, there's
I
new
gotta be
stuff to do.
honest. I gotta be honest, after RimWorld, I can't go to Prison Architect.
Prison Architect is easier for me to abuse. It's a smaller system and not nearly as limitless as RimWorld allows you to be, but within the confines of the system that they have built, it is amazing the things that you can find to abuse that system.
For me, the problem is that aesthetically, it looks and feels so much like RimWorld that
does,
I try to do things that I can do in RimWorld and I can't, and I realize I have no idea how to play this game.
I mean, I spent some time figuring out how to play the game. I went through the campaign. This was years ago, and then the notorious story of Thunderdome begins, where I was just like, okay, I figured out how to play this, and I don't like it, so I'm going to do what I want to do. And that's how
played
Thunderdome
that
was
before
born.
you played RimWorld, and I went out the other direction. I played RimWorld, and then you told me about Prison Architects, and I told you RimWorld was based off Prison Architects, loosely at least. And then I started playing Prison Architects, and that's what I was like. It doesn't work for me for some reason. The games are too similar.
I'll say that the base game of Prison Architect has a lot more utility and architectural planning than RimWorld does. RimWorld, you can just sort of build as you go. You don't actually need electricity or... no, that's pretty much the only utility that you have in RimWorld, isn't it? On the vanilla game, is electricity, because you don't have plumbing.
Yeah. Well, also what it is that there is no super micro in Prison Architect, is there? There's no, like,
Yes,
I'm going to tell
yes,
this
there
person to do exactly this thing, and he's going to go do it right now.
Okay, yeah, there is limited direct instruction for pawns. That is true. But in terms of...
You assign them a job, but you can't, like in RimWorld, you can select a pawn and, like, right-click on a job and be like, go do this right now. And they do it. Whereas, if I remember correctly, in Prison Architect, you assign somebody to the job, and then they do it at their leisure based on the AI's determination.
I might be remembering this incorrectly, but I'm pretty sure that you can command guards. Like, prisoners, no. You have to assign general policy to prisoners, and they will obey it. But your staff, I think you can order around. Like, you can tell, take out your shotguns, go to this point. If somebody tries to cross you, murder them. I think that's how that works. But, again, it's probably been 4 years? 3-4 years since I played Prison Architect?
Speaking of strategy games and kind of a segue into something else, so GOG Summer Sale is going on, and I know you guys have glowing reviews about Frostpunk. Game of the Year edition is on a sale for $32.
Worth it.
Along with a whole bunch of other games too. The Dishonored series has shown up there. You can get the complete collection. There's actually been quite a few titles that have showed up lately on the store that I didn't see before, which is kind of nice. Yeah, the Dishonored series, you can get the entire series for $24. No Man's Sky, you can pick up for $30.
Pass on that. You don't need No Man's Sky. You don't need to play No Man's Sky. That's me being bitter, but it's also me being like, no, it's billed as a multiplayer game still. It isn't.
How much was that? How much was it on sale?
$30.
30.
$30.
There's a parachute here. Where do we go from?
I'd say it's worth it for $20.
I'd say it's worth it for free.
I $15-20 I can agree with it being worth that.
Yeah, I had a good like 5 hours of entertainment in that, which is
No Man's Sky is just another one of those games that is so much potential that is just improperly realized, and it's forever going to be one of those games that I'll always look back on and think about how good it could have been as a multiplayer space sim. It could have been so damn good.
Another game is Outward. It's on sale for $16. It's an open world RPG, co-op up to 4 people. It's actually not bad. Pretty sure it's an indie title.
Why did they give you a parachute here if there's nowhere awesome to base jump from?
Metro Exodus is also now on GOG, and it's on sale for 55% off, which is a pretty good deal. The Wolfenstein games were the other ones, and both games are $9.
No kidding.
Yep, it was like
Is that if one of you guys gets the Wolfenstein one with the where it's like you almost mandatorily have to play 2-player?
Yeah,
I'll
new
play.
one.
Yeah, because it's free on.
We can be girls.
Yeah, it's free on Xbox Game Pass.
The new Wolfenstein game. Wow, what the fuck? I followed it when it came out, and we talked about it on the podcast. It was a big deal when it came out at the time for the reasons we've already covered. It's a good game. Like, it's got really good reviews, and the gameplay in it, the co-op gameplay in it is solid.
Well, if you get it, hit me up. Only reason I've installed it is because I don't have anyone to play it with.
By the way, Linus, you've got 24 hours in No Man's Sky, which is way more than I was expecting you to have.
Yeah, I played quite a bit of it. I actually enjoy it. I'm not gonna lie. It was a fun game for me. I don't know why.
No, I agree. It was fun. It was just
the same.
It was just missing too much other stuff.
See, I was playing solo, so I mean, I most of the time play solo in those kinds of games because I don't have the dedication to sit and play that for hours and build stuff for like an hour every now and then.
My game is bugged. Can you kill me?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, I didn't sink enough continuous hours into it, but I got relatively far on it, I guess. I built some pretty cool ships. I mean, I bought some pretty cool ships, I should say.
I'm running up with the cops to come attack you, Linus. They're all up here.
Nice.
Yeah, I guess there isn't much else. I don't really have a round table either. I've been slacking. I enjoyed camping this weekend, so I didn't do much shit.
Did you make a fire?
I didn't. My dad did, and I enjoyed the fire.
Did you enjoy watching it? Did it make you feel manly?
Yep.
Man-like fire.
Then I went and passed out reading a Robert Ludlum novel. Nice and peaceful.
Nice.
Had a nice ride up there on the motorcycle.
That's good.
Yeah. It was a good weekend.
Alright, time to make our escape, Linus.
Okay.
That's how they left the podcast.
Yeah.
Linus has actually been playing Darkest Dungeon.
Yes.
So finally got around to that. He hasn't made it. I don't think you've made it to the PvP, the brand new PvP DLC that was released last week.
No, but I said to Omega, I'll give it a try and tell him what it's like.
Somebody who played quite a bit of Darkest Dungeon, I can't think of something I would like to do less in that game than play PvP. Though I will say I am somewhat curious as to how it works, because in Darkest Dungeon, it's basically a turn-based RPG modeled kind of after D&D, but it is a brutal game. Like, it is a hard game. Your players will die, like your characters will die repeatedly. It's fucking brutal. You'll invest a lot of time in building up a character, deck them out with great items, and they'll kick a lot of ass, and then they'll die. So, and you lose the items, and that's just like part of the game, that it's happened over and over. I wonder how it's going to work in PvP. Like, do you get items? Do you lose items? If you lose, do you take people's items if you beat them? How does all that shit work?
I'm
a whole lot of
guessing.
questions that Lee'll have to jump in next week and tell us all about.
I mean, I'm sure I could answer those questions by checking it out myself, but I'd rather not. How did I spawn? I got killed by the cops. I spawned back in with a star still.
I've had that happen recently too, actually.
The mystery of GTA.
Fine.
Yes, wonderful mysteries. I guess the only other gaming stuff I have is the Division 2 has another PTS for Title Update 10, which has some more AI changes coming to it. I think some more exotics are coming to a couple gear sets. I will say they did send out a hot fix in the last couple of weeks that have seemed to fix most of my complaints with the game that I had. It's actually enjoyable again, so that's good. And yeah, I'm not going to download the PTS, but I'm definitely waiting for Title Update 10 to see what changes it brings. And there's just been faint whispers and confirmed rumors, but apparently Underground 2.0 is actually happening, but it's not going to be like Underground. Apparently, it might be like a skyscraper that you got to clear floors as you go up. It's interesting. It'll be nice to have some more PvE content to do.
Are you aiming for that phone pole?
Of course he was. I'm not in game, by the way, so I have no fucking clue.
No, but Gobi, you're right. I mean, why wouldn't he be?
Lead us grab that.
Right. I mean, GTA logic. That's what I was going on.
You want the news?
If nobody's got anything else, we're gonna go kill shit in GTA. So, going on.
I like.
We all know what you like. Save it for the post show.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all for joining us, and thank you all for listening. We'll catch you next time. Peace.
Later, y'all.
Penis.
Penis. Zero? Penis?
Yeah, Pinois.
Pinois. And we need to find some variety of cheese that rhymes with penis. That should be the round table next week.
Oh god, how did you manage this?
I don't even know. We should probably stop recording.